Hi, I'm Cliff Ennico, legal and tax editor for itsyourbiz.com with some thoughts on taxes and filing 1099 forms. So you've been doing business for a while. You've got a number of people who've done some work for you. You've paid them $600 or more during the course of the calendar year. They are not employees. They're independent contractors. You obviously have to pay them to give them a Form 1099 at the end of the tax year, showing them and the IRS how much you paid them during the tax year. Why do you do this? Because the IRS wants you to be their enforcer. They know there are a lot of people out there who do business for other companies and don't always report their taxes properly. So to ensure that those people do the right thing and pay their taxes on time, they ask you to send the person a form called the Form 1099. You do it in January of every year, showing them exactly how much you paid them each year for the work that they did for you. And a copy of that goes to the IRS so the IRS can cross-check it when that individual files their tax return. So far, so good. You've always had to do this. For at least the last 30 or 40 years, you've had to file this form, send this form out every year. It's one of the chores that all small business owners have to do in January, but the rules are changing, and they're changing in a very big way. For the current tax year, 2011, the rules are not changing. You only have to send somebody a 1099 if you paid them more than $600 during the year and they are an individual or a one-person LLC, what the IRS calls a single-person LLC. If Cliff Ennico did work for you during the year and you paid him more than $600 during the year, you have to send him a 1099 in the following January. The rules have not changed. What's changing is next year. In 2012, you not only have to send individuals 1099 forms, you must also send corporations, multi-member LLCs, and everybody that you do business with 1099 forms if you paid them more than $600 a year, $600 during the calendar year. So if you bought more than $600 worth of supplies from Home Depot or Office Max or someplace like that, you are going to have to send Home Depot or Office Max a 1099 form according to these new rules. Now, I know that sounds silly, but that's the law. And that's what it's going to be next year, unless, of course, it's changed. Now, a lot of things can happen between now and 2012. So why am I talking about this now? Because it illustrates perfectly my rule, my personal rule about doing 1099s. Now, this is not the law. This is just Cliff Ennico saying this. But it's a good piece it's a good thought for all of you who are wondering, well, gee, should I send the 1099s out to this person or shouldn't I? Do I have to do it? Here's Cliff Ennico's rule of thumb. Whenever you are dealing with anybody, a person, an LLC or corporation, and you're worried that that person might not be either intelligent enough or honest enough to report the income that you are paying them and file their taxes properly, send them a 1099 whether or not you are required to do so. Do not worry about what the law says. If you're worried that somebody might be playing around on their taxes, even though it's a corporation, a one or two person corporation, send them a 1099 anyway and send a copy to the IRS. You are not legally required to do this, but you are doing it voluntarily. The person at the other end may not appreciate the fact that you're doing this, but if they have any thoughts whatsoever about fooling around on their taxes, you're sending them that 1099 may very well prevent them from doing that. And even if it doesn't, it totally insulates you from liability in the event that they get audited. So if they do fool around on their taxes and they get caught and you sent them a 1099, you did everything you absolutely positively could comply with the law. The IRS is not going to come after you if you do that. Whereas if you don't send them a 1099 and they fool around in their taxes and the IRS finds out that you did not send them a 1099, there's a chance that they might come after you and find out what other under-the-table all-cash deals you've been doing with other people. And that's going to be a pain in the neck for your business. So again, this is Cliff Ennico talking. This is not the law. You will be legally required to do this in 2012 unless, of course, the law changes. But for now, use the law as an excuse. If you find yourself dealing with anyone, individual, LLC, partnership, corporation, whatever, and you're concerned that they may be playing games on their taxes, send them a 1099, send a carbon copy to the IRS, and forget about it. They may still get into hot water, but that hot water will not spill over and burn either you or your business. I'm Cliff Ennico for itsyourbiz.com.